This is a picture of our Geisel Library, a place where many of our students spend lots of time studying. It's one of the landmarks on campus named after Theodore Geisel, aka Dr. Seuss. Next slide. A presentation overview. This is going to provide a general intro to the School of Arts and Humanities, but there'll be lots of times for question and answer. As my colleague has put in the chat, definitely use the Q&A to drop any questions, and our team will respond to as many questions as we can in the allotted time. And we definitely appreciate the good questions. They're all good questions. And if questions come up later at the end of the presentation, there'll be a way you'll find out how you can actually contact the Office of Admissions. You'll learn more about what the PATH program is exactly. I know many of you are probably wondering what it is. Well, you'll find out tonight. PATH program eligibility, Q&A, and again, much, much more. Next slide. So before we get started, I do want to make sure that the Q&A feature is working. If those of you who are here with us, if you can let us know where you're actually participating from. Are you in California? Are you out of state? Are you overseas, for example? If you can use that Q&A feature just to let us know where you're from, we would really appreciate that. San Diego, very good, local, backyard. So San Diego, welcome. Where else are people from tonight? Let's see here. So we've got San Diego. San Diego's a pretty nice spot, so there's definitely nothing wrong with that. Lancaster, okay, so we have people from across this great state. La Jolla, San Fernando Valley, so across California and no doubt across this great country of ours and the world. So with that, I am going to actually introduce our presenter, who is a distinguished colleague in the School of Arts and Humanities, Allison Santana.
Hello, everyone. It's really nice to meet you today. Very excited to present the PATH program to you all and talk to you all about the School of Arts and Humanities here at UCSD. Today, we will have two special panelists that will be answering questions that you may have about the School of Arts and Humanities and the PATH program. We will have one of our program alumnus, Hanin Sayed, and one of our current PATH students and PATH interns, Jasenia Mendoza. But without further ado, I will get started. And I also want to say that my colleague Roxanne will be looking at the Q&A and answer any questions that you may have as I'm presenting. And then once we're done with the slides, we'll take over and answer any other further questions that you may have about the program or UCSD school life for Jasenia. So, brief about the School of Arts and Humanities. The school includes more than 1,500 undergraduates, over 435 PhDs and MFA graduate students, 100 plus undergraduate majors and graduate programs, 373 academic, instructional, and research faculty. And of course, we are also guided by distinguished scholars that have won Pulitzer Prizes and Tony Award-winning faculty, as well as MacArthur Genius Fellows. Here is our list of areas of study. The School of Arts and Humanities offers a wide range of majors and minors, and we focus on foundational, transferable, and enduring knowledge. Under our big umbrella, we have history, literature, philosophy, music, theater and dance, visual arts, and we also host other institutes such as the Institute of Arts and Humanities. So, what is the PATH program? PATH stands for Preparing Accomplished Transfers to the Humanities. It is a collaborative initiative between the School of Arts and Humanities here at UC San Diego and the San Diego Community College District, better known as SDCD. Initially funded by the generous grant funds from the Mellon Foundation. The program aims to build a pipeline of support for transfer students to encourage success. The PATH program now expands to other community colleges, and this is fairly new. I believe this would be our third year, offering it to other colleges outside of the SDCCD district. So for as long as you are a transfer student from a community college in San Diego, you can apply to the PATH program. The PATH program, of course, begins with the PATH Summer Academy. The PATH Summer Academy is a free, intensive 5-week summer program for transfer students with a major in the arts or humanities, and the program works to support the transition from community college to UC San Diego by providing individualized guidance on how to navigate the campus. The program also gets you used to the quarter system. Most community colleges are in a semester based, so getting an early start on the quarter system is very helpful for students. The program helps students learn about how to take advantage of all the resources UC San Diego has to offer. As you may or may not know, UCSD is very big. It is kind of like a small city of its own. So navigating, the campus on your own can be very stressful, and it can be a lot because some resources are only for specific majors, etc. So we make sure that we present to you a set of resources that is specifically curated for students that are transfers and are in the arts and humanities, so that you can make the most of these next 2 years at UCSD. The program includes one academic course, resource workshops, individualized peer mentoring from students that transferred into UCSD and also completed the PATH program. And we, of course, like to offer different opportunities for our students to build community with each other and be able to network. Students who complete the PATH Summer Academy are invited to participate in special internships, different events, and other opportunities throughout the school year. Again, this is so that our students continue to stay in touch with each other and be able to have that community of transfers. So, what is the PATH program eligibility? Our first rule, or the first thing that we look at when we look at our participants, is that you are transferring from a community college. By the time you hear about the program or are able to apply, you should have received admissions from UC San Diego for fall 2024. Declare a major in the arts and humanities, and of course, complete our online application. Once you do that, you would receive a letter from us of acceptance, and we would host our PATH orientation on August 4th to then begin the program on August 5th, which would consist of your first day of class at UC San Diego. Very exciting. So what are some of the benefits exclusive to PATH students? As I mentioned, we offer internships. Those internships are paid. And we also offer scholarships for PATH students only. Right now, we have a scholarship that is funded by the Wheel family. We also have a laptop lending library. We want to make sure that our students have the tools that they need to succeed at UC San Diego. So we started this laptop lending program, and we also offer different workshops such as our digital humanities series that are, again, exclusive for PATH students. And throughout the year, we host this events that we call PATH Perks, that are year-round networking events and job readiness opportunities. We'll host coffee times and breakfast in the morning, open the room for students to come in and study. And our goal, again, is to make sure that our students stay connected and that they build a community at UCSD. So now let me open the floor to our two panelists. We have Jasenia and Haneen. And Jasenia and Haneen, if you could present yourself, maybe tell us what your major is or was at UCSD and what you are currently doing and what you hope to do with your major in the future. And Haneen,
I
if
can
you
go
could.
first. Yeah. Hi everyone. My name is Haneen Zayat. I graduated from UCSD in 2021 with a bachelor's in Spanish literature. And I was part of the PATH program. I did PATH Summer Academy in 2019. And currently I am a grants administrator at Scripps Research. Yeah, and I'll pass it on to Yesenia.
Hi, I'm Yesenia. I'm a current fourth year at UCSD, second year transfer. I did the PATH program last year, so summer 2022, and I am a history major.
Thank you, thank you. And as Jasenia and Haneen mentioned, Jasenia is a current student and Haneen graduated from UCSD. And now, Roxanne, do we have any questions in the
I
chat?
don't
Sorry, I
see
can't
any in the chat, but I did have one myself. Why did you choose the major in the arts and humanities?
And any of you can answer the question.
I'll go first. So for me, like, I remember like being in high school and I was like figuring out like what I liked and like what I wanted to do, and anything STEM related, even the stuff that did seem interesting to me, I just knew it wasn't for me, like for a career. Um, so I started looking into like arts and humanities, and I've always loved history. And I was like, okay, well, I can look into that. And yeah, pretty much ever since then, I've known like the end of senior year.
And then Yesenia, I see one question in the Q&A that pertains to you. It's asked because you're a history major. How does the history program like with PATH and at UCSD?
So the program at UCSD is part of the reason why I chose to go there, because it's one of the best ones, at least out of the schools that like I applied to. But our history program is really good. My advisor is great. A lot of the professors I've had, no matter what they teach, is really great. Um, Class wise, it's pretty busy, even as like a transfer, although you will start in like all upper divisions, so it's expected that you're supposed to put in like a bunch of work. A lot of the time your finals, midterms, and assignments and stuff will be essays. Although I am taking a class right now where my midterm, it was a legitimate midterm, like a test. So that was definitely like, yeah, I was not expecting that. But most of the time, yeah, a lot of reading and a lot of writing.
And there was another question on the chat. I believe the student was asking how many days the PATH program is. The PATH program would be during summer session 2 of UCSD summer sessions, and it's only a month. So classes during the summer at UCSD are about 4 weeks. So a month or so.
And then we have some questions in the chat for Yesenia and Haneen. How was your transition from community college to UC San Diego? Especially with the quarter system and the semester system change.
Yeah, I can answer. Thank you. That's a really good question. I had a lot of anxiety about switching from semester to quarter system because it was just a faster pace. But I also took a lot of like short-term classes. So I know the semester 16 and you have the option to take some 8-week classes. So kind of like to prep myself and to start thinking about what it might look like. I started taking classes like those. And I really did like the faster pace and like getting everything done and getting more classes in a shorter amount of time. The one big difference though between those 8-week courses and then your 10-week quarter classes at UCSD is that the class load is much heavier. So there's a lot of reading, a lot of work. And so just really be up for it. Don't overload yourself. I'm definitely one of those people that says, oh, well, I want as many units as I can. But then you really have to learn to like look at, enjoy what you're learning, and then look at what you have on your plate, especially also if you're a student worker, which I was during that time. And so really just look at your plate realistically and don't try to overexert yourself. I know we all want to like be the best and do as much as possible. So just doing those things really like helped, and just knowing that also because you have the 3 quarters and also summer, you can get more things done, even if you're just taking bite-sized chunks, right, without having to maximize your unit load. Thank you.
Really similar to what Haneen said for me. Like I got so used to the semester system and like having a million hours to complete an assignment, so procrastinating it off. But then once, first of all, the past summer academy and then just the regular quarter system hit, it was insane. Like at first, because like you can't really procrastinate, or if you do, it's like you can't do it that much or like for that much amount of time because it's just you're gonna fall behind. But I also like the quarter system more now because you get to like take more classes, meet more professors, and you're not just sort of stuck in a class for so long.
We
And
have other, oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Alice.
We have other questions for you both. One of them says, do you feel the summer program gave you more opportunities? And if so, what types? And any of you can answer.
I answered a little bit in the chat, but basically the biggest opportunity for me from the summer academy was the extra credits. I was already coming in with a little bit extra from like an AP test I had in high school, but then taking the summer academy and getting those extra credits really helped out. So I was able to take my first fall semester or quarter last year with just the regular full-time 3 classes. And then same thing this quarter, in the fall, my second fall quarter, I'm just taking 3 classes. And I only have the 2 quarters left. And I could get away with taking 3 classes for each if I really wanted to. So I think that was probably the biggest help for me was that like extra like cushion of classes.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with Yesenia having the extra class with the extra classes and the units with Summer Academy, especially to help with some of those graduation requirements in languages and those things. Another thing that the Summer Academy opened up was really just connecting with a bunch of people from SDCCD and other community colleges that I had never met while I was at City College. So just seeing all of these people in summer and knowing that there's a support system while I was, in my 2 years until graduating, especially with the opportunity to have an internship at the dean's office, that was just really valuable to me. Again, connecting with faculty and other people and professionals and staff within UCSD and the community colleges.
And the other question we have on the Q&A is if anyone in the panel chose a minor and how was that like? Are any of you minors in?
I didn't do a full minor, but I did take courses in world health. So I did an internship in world health and I took most of the classes. So minors, I realized as I was in my undergraduate don't show up on your diploma. And so a lot of things that some people would take minors or just take classes to specialize in something is just to take the classes without taking the minor like officially. But it's really great because the humanities is a base for anything, and it creates a really well-rounded way of research and thinking and doing literature reviews, and that really helped within global health, because it's a lot of science reading and reviewing all of these different statistics and data, and you always want to see kind of the human aspect towards it. So I remember, the doctors and the physicians that I was working with, they would be really impressed because of the different kind of background and knowledge that humanities students have. But it really does create a whole other layer of complexity to the way that you think and you write, and especially paired with literature. I know I'm gonna gun for literature, but that's definitely something that I saw, and it helped with my reading, writing in college and now.
Yes. And to add on to that question, once you get admitted into UCSD, I believe after your first quarter at UCSD, once your academic records are updated with all the classes you've taken at your community college, etc., then you can go on the website and declare a minor if you do choose to declare a minor. And then again, those classes that are required for that specific minor will start showing up on your record. So that's always something that you want to do. But remember, when you do that, just keep in mind that it might add on to your class load because of the classes required by the specific minor. The other question that we have on the Q&A section is asking, I know there are 8 colleges to choose from at UCSD. Which college did you choose and why?
Okay, I could start. So Muir, as a transfer and as a first year, but Muir is the best option. They only have one requirement, and it was a writing class, and I will say it was like pretty rigorous, and um, there were a lot of parts to it, but the professor that I had was absolutely amazing, and basically throughout the whole quarter, every assignment that we had to turn in was literally just like for the big paper at the end. So by the time the end of the quarter happened, we only had like 2, maybe 3 pages left to write because we had been working at it. Also, advisor wise, Muir is pretty great. Yeah, so I would say Muir in terms of requirements, so that you don't have to deal with so many other extra classes on top of your major, and then possibly minor.
I chose 6th College because of the raccoons, obviously. But no, that's a joke. But if you like raccoons, 6th College historically is in the area where all the raccoons live on campus. But I really liked the idea of technology and art, like marriage together. And 6th College only has 2 requirements. One is a major can be worked in with your major. So it's just creating research or doing an internship or a work study program. And that gives you your credits. And then the other one is kind of like a branding class. You learn how to write your college essays for your master's or your PhD, how to create a resume, and how to like sell yourself. So you kind of study like Beyonce and like the way that she sells her image, and then you kind of try to apply it to yourself and what you're trying to do. So pretty cool class, interesting, and 6th College.
Yeah, so 6th College is our most popular college once we get our arts and humanities students, at least in our path pool. And the second most popular is Marshall College, which also has 2 majors. Marshall College, or no, not major, to required classes. And their classes are just for you to take 2 classes that are outside of your major. So if you're interested in maybe taking like a psychology class, you can take that and it would be your Marshall requirement. Our least popular college at UCSD is Rebel, because Rebel has an intensive math requirement, and as arts and humanities majors, you transfer with your general ed requirements in math. So Rebel always asks beyond that requirement, which forces students, at least in the arts and humanities, to take extra math at UCSD. Is there a college you would recommend for a psych majors? I think, all colleges, the one thing I would look at is how many classes you will be taking for your major, because the different colleges have different classes requirements. Some of them have 2, Rebel has like 5, so that varied, and it's gonna of course fluctuate your workload.
And then there was a question about becoming a teacher in history. And I know we have I know a student in our literature area that is doing his education studies minor, and that basically is all the prerequisite courses for the master's and teaching credential at UCSD, and it helps give you a fast track on that. And I know, Yesenia, you had some stuff you wanted to share on that.
Yeah, so I'm literally like working right now for to apply to grad school for my teaching credential and master's, because a lot of schools they have it a dual program for like about a year. So unfortunately for history, UCSD is like the only one that does not offer one for history majors. One of our other interns, like Roxanne was saying, is a literature major, so he's able to put EDS, which is the education studies, as his minor, but I was not able to do so, and neither is any other history major. I am able to take classes. So next quarter, I already got approved to take a class where it's once a week, like lecture and then discussion on campus with a professor. And then once or twice a week, I can go to a middle school or high school because I want to teach high school. So I can do that as well. So you are able to still like take the classes to like get that classroom experience if you want, but unfortunately you can't actually minor in it or even apply to UCSD again. So for me, a lot of the programs I'm looking at right now is SDSU and San Marcos, just to stay local. But if not, then Irvine, Riverside, Long Beach, Fullerton. There's some really good options out there, but yeah, unfortunately, cannot apply to UCSD again for that.
There was another question related to history, Jasenia. It reads, for history, is there a foreign language requirement? If so, do intermediate college classes count for that requirement?
So I had a foreign language requirement to just get into UCSD, like in general, no matter what my major was. And I fulfilled that in high school because that was like the only AP exam that I took and that I passed was AP Spanish. But for history specifically, no, I don't, there's no language requirement. They wouldn't really ask of you for one unless you're applying to grad school and there's a certain, like if you want to study Latin American studies, Middle Eastern studies, they may ask you, hey, like you will need this other at least second language. But yeah, to enter UCSD in general, I did need that language. So yeah.
And the next question is more generalized. The Sirajas Rani Center for Cinematic Arts caught my eye. Explain what is offered there, please. Sirajas Rani for Cinematic Arts is fairly new, and we, I believe, got accepted to now have a major in cinematic arts, which will get updated. I think there's still some paperwork getting done. So maybe I jumped the gun on promoting our cinematic arts. But we already have a center. It is hosted here at 6th College, where the Arts and Humanities building is as well. You can see some of our art that we have on site behind me. But the Raj's Rani Center for Cinematic Arts offers different events and movie showings almost every weekend. So you will probably see more of our new major as you apply. I hope that answered your question.
And then I think there was a question in the chat about portfolios. I don't think either of you are Viz Arts majors, so you didn't submit a portfolio. I know we've had other Viz Arts majors, but I don't know any of them that submitted a portfolio. Do you, Allison?
I believe one of our past interns that we had, Rachel, did submit one because she had work that she wanted to show from her community college classes, but it is not a requirement. So you can always do that. Same with theater and dance. I believe auditions are optional, or like a audition tape, but once you dive into the major, they would send you all instructions on what your portfolio should consist of, etc. But I believe for at least visual arts, the portfolio is an optional portion of your application. Another question that we had, and this one is for Haneen, since you're an alumna. How are you applying the skills learned at UC San Diego in your post undergraduate life, your current work life, and how is that going?
Yeah, thank you for the question. A really big skill that I'm applying that I learned at UCSD was, and especially with Path, was a lot of like job necessary skills. So, networking with people, looking for jobs, reading, a lot of reading. I think about UCSD and I think about what I did, and I just remember reading a lot. And that's what I do now. So right now I process grants for governmental grants in science, and so it's a lot of reading, a lot of attention to detail, and also a lot of deadline work. So that's how it is at UCSD. It's fast paced, you have deadlines, so just really managing my time effectively has really helped now as an adult. And that's kind of, you start to build the building blocks as you study, and that's kind of how I work now, and just taking all of these different skills, like putting alarms and setting up calendars and just being really organized using spreadsheets, just really basic soft skills that you might, even checking your email, like you might not think about it, but it's definitely something that you use on your day-to-day.
And I do want to add on, I also graduated from UCSD and transferred from San Diego City College. I was actually in the PATH program with Haneen, and we were both in the job, I think, applying for jobs around the same time, etc. But one of the things that prepared me during my time at UCSD was actually doing research as a student. And I do want to encourage every arts and humanities student that gets into UCSD to do research on campus, because one, a lot of research opportunities are paid. And it just, helps you dive in whatever topic. You can do something related to your major or outside of your major. And for me, it was very helpful to be able to network with librarians, different faculty while I was doing my research, because those, the people that I connected with while doing my research, just, talk to me about their grad experience, the different things that they did as they were navigating the workforce. I'm a first generation student, so I actually did not know what I needed to do. I went to school, and then after that, I was like, well, I don't know what's next. I just knew I had to finish this, but now I'm having an existential crisis. So always network with people that you can connect with and that will share their experiences with you, because then you can follow the same steps that they did to get to where they are now. So that's something I would recommend to everyone. Do research. And we also don't have that many students that propose research in the arts and humanities, so more than likely you will get the opportunity. But if there are no more questions for any of our panelists, maybe we can end a few minutes early.
I think
And
Tim's going.
Great. Well, thank you, Allison and Roxanne, and thank you, Hanin and Yesenia, for all the information you provided. It's really nice to know that our students are thriving in the arts and humanities, and these are just two examples. There are countless more available. I do want to provide just some information about next steps for students who are applying. So this is a timeline of where we are in the application cycle. So of course, the application opened August 1st. If you are interested in applying for fall 2024, the application submission period is October, November. And so this November 30th, so just a couple of weeks from now, the application will actually close. But for those of you in the pipeline, you can keep, this will be applicable certainly for future years in terms of applying to UC San Diego. Transfer decisions are always available by end of April, and then transfer students have to accept their offer of admission by June the 1st. And so we really encourage students to submit that application early and apply broadly. There are many arts and humanities programs across the UC system. We hope you apply to UC San Diego, but we want you to also maximize your chances of getting into a great university, and all of the UC campuses are great universities. I do want to mention too, I know that our students were talking a little bit in our alum about the college system. The college system is very unique at UC San Diego. And remember, any major, any college, 8th College, which just started this quarter, fall 2023, will be available to transfer students starting in fall of 2025. So if you're applying this year or next year, 8th College will not be an option. However, again, if you're in the pipeline, 8th College will be an available option for you in fall of 2025. Remember, any major, any college. Next slide. Stay connected with us. We want you to visit us if you have questions, if you'd like to attend any future events. Lots of information if you click on that QR code. If you have questions, you can always contact us via our Contact Us form, which is available online. And then our final slide if you have more questions, again, this QR code is very helpful. We have staff available by telephone. We are available to help support you in any way we can. We know that applying to colleges can be in some cases overwhelming. There's a lot of information to soak in. We want to be available to provide you with helpful information and timely information. So with that, I think we have just one final slide. Thank you for tuning in. We really appreciate it. We know that this is a busy time for most students getting ready for the holiday and so on. So we appreciate you taking the time. I'd like to thank all of our arts and humanities participants, the staff, the students, and all the folks behind the scenes who made this possible. On behalf of the Chancellor, the Regents, and all of UC San Diego, thank you for joining us, and have a great night.